I actually hated Final Fantasy XIV. A strong statement, I know, but hear me out. At the beginning of the game, you look like an actual bum they found in a sewer. Then the game slogs you through talking from NPC to NPC. And all of a sudden, the game just gets hella good. And you're out here killing gods. Or just having fun. I was tied down, held at literal gunpoint to play the game, and it kind of paid off. The emotional beats the game put me through genuinely had a chokehold on me. It's a game that truly embodies it gets good after 100 hours. Because it actually does. This is going to be a new player perspective of Final Fantasy. I'll cover the story, exploration, combat, and anything else along the way that I feel I should mention. Where does this take place? In Heavensward. Without a further ado, take this journey with me through Final Fantasy XIV again. We left off where I thought was the end of A Realm Reborn, but that was actually just the midpoint. There's a whole post-A Realm Reborn questline. I'm gonna need you to sit down when I say this. Why the fuck didn't the game get here faster? Before I completely derail, this is your spoiler warning. We good? Okay, perfect. The story actually goes insane. Everything falls apart, all semblance of reason goes to hell. Alphinaud becomes egotistical with his crystal blues or whatever he calls it, and the game does a really good job of making you hate him, or wary of him. But it did such a good job that I actually despise him and have not forgiven him for his actions, even after a whole expansion. So if you see me acting irrationally toward him, that's why. The whole assassination plot, the Scion splitting up, that's how you start a game. I'm not sure if I perceived it to be so good because of how brain-numbing the beginning was, but I wish they condensed that part even more and brought the players to this part of the game sooner. Now, you may point at me and say, but it's about the world building. They need time to actually learn and understand who the Scions are and what kind of world the players find themselves in. How very cute of you, viewer, but let me point you to Expedition 33. In that game, shit hits the fan very, very fast. You don't really know the cast that well, but the journey of coming together strengthens those bonds. I think Final Fantasy XIV could do the same thing. The introduction to the Scions happen a lot sooner as they hear that you have a special power as the Warrior of Light, and then things just immediately fall apart. The only people you knew fall into disarray, and you grow a stronger bond with all of them as you overcome this tragedy together. Which is basically what they end up doing anyway, it just takes longer. The gang is forced to flee as they've been pinned as the culprits of an assassination, and they end up losing a lot of members along the way, not knowing what happens to them, not knowing our own future. Branded as fugitives, we seek solace in a new nation, one that stayed out of the story till now, as they had their own problems they were dealing with. The Dragon Song War, I think, and that's how this adventure starts. I'll be summarizing story quite a bit, especially the first half since I kinda didn't record a lot of it, but I'll be commenting through it since, oh man, do I really like this expansion. So for the first part, all you really need to know is that Hutchafont is my goat. I might not really have a ton of footage of it, but I remember him being super chill, relaxed, and super helpful. Always laughing and saying the stupidest things either because he's actually socially inept, or just trying to shift the mood to make you feel better. Either way, he's easily my favorite character in Heavensward. They wouldn't do anything bad to him, right? Anyway, since they're letting us crash their place, we offer to help them out in whatever way necessary. Thankfully, it wasn't anything too crazy, just watch out for their sons. And one of them immediately gets kidnapped. Fuck's sakes. After some casual murder, we head back and check out the other son, who's fixing up a place called Falcon's Nest. It looks like we got some heretics on our hands that are in the way, so as usual, we prepare to slap them around. We get stopped by Iceheart, a vessel for Primal Shiva. We have a talk. Oh, I forgot about this little dragon. Not sure how it got here, but I think we're undergoing some trial because the dragon broke our connection with the All-Mother? Yeah, let's go with that. Basically, she tells us there's more than meets the eye, and most importantly, she isn't here to destroy Ishgard, rather to break a vicious cycle. Whatever that means. But after that, we have like a little Phoenix Wright arc. No fucking idea, but we have a 1v1 with the law, which is actually funny as shit if you ask me. We actually find out my goat Rahaban is about to be executed, and we can't have that, so we head out to stop it. This is as good a time as any to talk about the story dungeons, which are all really good. It's really engaging, and it's super pretty looking. The enemies have pretty unique designs most of the time. My only real problem with them is that they're kind of brainless. I play tank mostly because I'm too poor to buy all the DLC and play as Viper, but I just run around and spam my abilities. I think what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing to react to. Even the bosses are relatively simple, to the point where 99% of the time you just dodge red circles or buff defense at a heavy attack indicator. But let's get back to the story. We save our goat and find out the Lala Queen isn't dead, which, alright, this whole thing started out because we were branded as traitors for killing the queen. But it's all just a theory, a conspiracy theory. Thanks for watching. But yeah, Businessman is bad, essentially. He was pulling some strings and now we hate him. But it's gonna take some time until we fully uncover the truth. So, while we wait, you should subscribe. As a small creator, it would really mean the world to me. And I'll even bake you a cookie. Thank you. We go back to Iceheart with our friend Dragoon of Ishgard and holder of the Great Worm Nidhogg's Eye, Astinin. What a fucking title. Basically, he's just doing Jinwoo cosplay for the entire expansion. And so the three of us and Alfie go on a journey to negotiate a peace with the dragons. Along the way we become close friends and it's actually pretty nice. The dialogue and shenanigans we get up to, like eviscerating another primal and stepping on some beast tribes, strengthens our bonds with our newfound friends. I wonder why they're doing that. But as soon as we reach, oh wait, we have to do some shit with the Mughals first, which is great. Then we meet with the Great Worm, who's actually, I think, the brother of the evil dragon. He tells us about the truth of the Dragon Song War. How the real Shiva died to bring peace, but the King Thordan fucked shit up and killed Herzvelger, Nidhogg's sister, and ate their eyes? What the fuck were these humans up to? But they get really strong because of it, and even to this day the descendants have dragon blood coursing through their veins. Which is why heretics turn into dragons with just a taste of pure dragon blood. Holy fuck. The game just drops a metric bomb of lore on you, and it's really well developed. Because it starts building the blocks of the truth as you take this journey to meet the dragon. Now, knowing the truth, and the not so violent dragon not willing to aid us, Astinin decides to say fuck it and hunt down Nidhogg to end the war once and for all. Ysael, which is Iceheart's real name, loses faith and kinda dips for a bit. Unfortunately, the place where Nidhogg chills out is hard to get to, so we get our boy Sid working on the Mana Cutters, which is just a fancy new airship, but it'll take some time to complete, which is fine since we get back to Ul'dah, because the queen is waking up. I really like the way Heavensward juggles multiple scenarios like this. It's very natural and keeps you wanting more. What happens next in each storyline is intense. We have some crazy ass conspiracies on one hand, the missing scions, and of course the Dragon Song War. Overall, this expansion is so much better than A Realm Reborn, especially since we're still in the first half. Our quick break involves the Empire starting to make moves again, so now we have to keep an eye out for it. But before we can do anything about that, the ships are ready, so we head out to beat up Nidhogg. He's just flying with us too, like he's part of the gang or something. This dungeon was really cool. I actually died during it, which is, possibly my fault. And the fight itself, again, wasn't anything too crazy. Astinin steals my kill, which I'd normally complain about, but he's low-key, a little freaky, and gets stained in blood of his enemies. He crashes out a bit, and we hear some more truth about what happened. Nidhogg slayed King Thordan, and as revenge for killing the Worm's sister, and Thordan's son, Prince Haldareth, took up a quest for revenge against Nidhogg. But with that, the war should be over, right? Right? Now we have to deal with the whole mess that is the lies of the church in Ishgard. Another in the long line of evil churches in video games. Sir Imeric decides to take it up with the Archbishop since the city is in a state of unrest. But he gets captured and held in the vault to stop the truth from spreading. Obviously, we go in to break our boy out with the help of my goat Archivant and everyone else. We storm the place and manage to save Imeric. But the Archbishop is running away, so we try to stop him. Imeric calls out to him, and all of us stand by before charging at him. But no way. Do not fucking do this to me. Fuck you. They actually killed my favorite character. This point in the story solidified my appreciation for the writing team, and made me understand why people really play this game. Alright, let's fast forward a bit. We find out the Archbishop wants to go to a place called Isla. So to get there ourselves, we head out and search for a key, because, obviously. We had to kill some whale for it, but it's in our hands. And what? Yo, where is Alfie? Where are any of our friends? Tell me why we came here alone. I mean, fuck it, we lose the key, but we know where to go. We meet up with some commanders of the Garlean Empire who in classic fashion bombs us and then dips. Which, you know, fair. We found Y'shtola, head out to LA. We have Estinin use the power of the Dragon Eye to power some kind of needle to cut open a barrier for us, which we do, but it's not over just yet. The Garlean Empire sends out a huge ass fleet and starts beating up on us. But Iceheart pulls up and goes insane on these guys. When Final Fantasy is doing Final Fantasy, it's amazing. All the cinematics for being years old still hold up, and I love sitting back and watching these moments unfold. As a classic of a tale this is, Iceheart gives her life up to help us. It's a bitter and somber moment, not because I had much connection to her as a character, but because I understand her ideals, which made the scene for me that much more powerful. As we land, we're met with the commander again, who challenges us for some reason, not like we beat his ass last time, and we do that again. And he runs away again. Great. But at least now we can explore the floating islands, which was a disaster on foot, so I begged my friend to fly me around. Also because I'm pretty sure I got lost at some point. But eventually we find Tiamat, who stun locks us into a yap session, which basically summarizes to how all Ashians are bad and shouldn't be trusted. Then the little dragon finally deems us worthy after completing his trial, which, not gonna lie, it felt good. And so we rode off to what I thought was the finale. It was actually really nice that he became a mount. That's cool as shit. We try to enter whatever this is, but we're stopped for a bit before finally heading toward the end. This dungeon was also crazy. I didn't entirely understand what I was witnessing, but I think that's the point. This is the Lost Archives, the origin of sin that the Empire coveted, I think. We run into two Ascians. God, I fucking don't know how to say these names. Which was a really interesting fight. They had mechanics that forced you to react to it, which was fun. I wish there was more of this. After taking them out, they decide to become one, somehow. Look, I don't make the rules, okay? Don't ask me. But we take them out again, straight dumbstring on it. Overall, this was probably my favorite fight so far in the expansion. We split the Ashians in two and flashbang one of them, so we can take them out like we're playing Valorant, thanks to the power of the Worm's Eye. Then out of nowhere the king shows up. What the fuck was he doing, just watching from the sidelines? He pulls up with a literal corpse that has the other eye, using it to just box and piece the other Ashian. Holy shit. Then he starts aura farming on us with his new power. Okay, I see you. I guess now it's the final fight. But I kind of fuck up and run the same dungeon again, so yeah, that's great. And then I somehow do it again. Am I stupid? Also, Jesus Christ, a 31-minute queue time. 38 minutes? Alright, let's just relax. Holy shit, okay, we're back. It's time to fight the Heavens Ward. Honestly, this fight was awesome. It was a spectacle for sure, and my only issue is I have no fucking idea what's going on, to be honest. I was just following what everyone else was doing only because I feel like the mechanics aren't fully explained, or maybe just because I'm dumb. Could be anything really. But I still had fun playing through it. It was surprisingly a fast fight as we took down the king. Holy, are we cold? But yeah, our friend Estine pulls up to congratulate us and... Huh? What are you doing? Oh, you want to take the eyes far away from dragons and humans so no one can use their powers for evil? Sounds like a great idea. Oh fuck's sakes. But that's a problem for later, as Nidhogg makes an escape. We too evacuated and went back to Ishgard to give them the good-ish news. The dragon makes a speech about how the war isn't entirely over and only given a temporary peace. Regardless, this was a huge next step for the country. It officially joins the alliance, and we properly give our friend the goodbye he deserves. And that's the end of the story for now. Honestly, so much better than A Realm Reborn for the first half. The story was more gripping, much betterly paced, if that's correct grammar, and just a joy. Before continuing to the rest of the expansion story, however, I want to talk about basically everything else other than the story just to give you guys a little break, which is going to be surprisingly short because there wasn't a lot to do between the main story quests. I know there are a ton of these yellow quest markers everywhere. Like there might be just millions of these in every corner across the game, but I found no reason to do them. I can't imagine any reward they can give out that might be worthwhile either, which kind of sucks since side quests are a huge part of an open world game like this. My favorite example would be Witcher 3. That game is packed with content at every turn. Not only that, but it's always engaging, be it either the story or rewards, and I just don't see that in Final Fantasy. Which might be way too much to ask for since this is an MMORPG and that's a single player game. Another thing I noticed is PvP, which I have no idea about. It looks kind of terrifying, but I wish they baked it into the story a bit, just so it introduces you to the game mode. I know there are tons of systems and content out there like this, since I've heard whispers of it, which sucks because I think the game doesn't do the greatest job in introducing all the types of content it has. I know about the duties, which are, well, fine. You do need a daily cycle of things to do for players. And another thing I want to talk about is that the stories never really go over the raids. Before playing the game, I'd see some crazy shit that the raids were, but nowhere even now do I see that in the story. Maybe those were added in the later expansions, or I just somehow completely missed them because I'm blind. I'd love to make some friends playing the game, so if you do play the game still, please add me, or join the Discord, or just hit me up, cause I low-key need help. Everyone I've run into while playing the game has been really sweet, and it just makes me want to meet more people. Anyway, where was I? Right, the side content. For me, even after playing through the whole expansion, there wasn't really any. Funny enough, there was a point in the MSQ where my gear level wasn't high enough, and I was lost on what to do. Thankfully, there's like a system where new players can ask for help, which is where someone pointed me to a vendor. Super awesome of them, by the way. Thank you for the help. Also, the people are just kind of fun. I ran into Monica, who kind of kidnapped me and put her in her classroom. That was insane, but kind of cool. There's this central meeting place for people just to watch, which was also cool to look at. I can also appreciate that even a lot of random NPCs have dialogue that helps bring the story together, which is a really nice touch. And finally, before we continue on with, in my opinion, the craziest and dumbest part of Heavensward, I want to touch on the world and exploration. The world is so fucking good. It's so pretty and honestly not too annoying to explore. Sure, you can't just fly everywhere immediately, but I'm not too annoyed at that. It's rather how empty it feels. Sure, there are enemies around, or even fate raids. I'm not sure what they're for and never really did them. The enemies pose no threat either since you can just ignore them 99.9% of the time. The open world is exclusively used as a place for the story to happen. There's no reason to explore it, no treasure to find, or exclusive quest to get, at least to my knowledge, which is just kind of a shame to me. Well, let's wrap up the story, shall we? Then I can give you my final thoughts. Back to Ishgard. Now that the truth is out, obviously there's some tension between the people and the church, I think. Just a little bit. But who gives a shit about that? Let's go find the Scions. We've dangled that plot thread for a while now. We meet up with Alfie and Y'shtola in the new area that kind of popped up out of nowhere. We meet with someone that may be able to help us, and she's apparently Alfie's op like me, because she's got some dirt on him, and I already like her for that. Though we get our first lead and peace out with the gang. Now again, the world is so pretty, but there is also nothing to do but traverse it. Also, I might just be really dumb, or it's confusing to travel around too, because for the life of me I couldn't figure out how to get to the quest marker, only because I thought I had to get across the bridge, which you don't have to, by the way. The gang pulls up on Grandma because she probably knows something that'll help us. She's got some sass to her because she's actually Y'shtola's teacher, and Krille does something. I don't know, but she figures out where we need to go next as the rest of us watch. We come to find out our goat Thancred is somewhere here, and our only lead is from these guys. And luckily for us, we do get some good info here. While we search for Thancred, we run into these freaks who are already hunting a primal, and I really like this introduction. The shot composition emphasizing the fact that they are versions of us, which immediately gets confirmed by a flashback. The warriors are darkness. Oh fuck, a fight breaks out and we kind of immediately get clapped. This freak is on something and the rest of us start getting boxed. But luckily, before things can get out of hand, our goat Thancred comes in and goes toe to toe with them. A really sick cutscene. They decide that enough's enough and just teleport out while threatening us. A classic move. But we're okay with that as we found one of our lost friends. A cool moment for sure before we get the hell out of there. Thancred drops his side of the story of what happened after he got teleported, making sure to tell us that he was in fact naked. You know, as one does, but now we have to go back to helping Ishgard broker some peace. After all, Estinin, our boy, turned into Nidhogg, so the war isn't over. While we do that, this shit happens. You know, Imric taking a stroll in the dark while it's raining with 2 bodyguards. Does no one see this dude looking extremely depressed walking towards them? Hello? I swear to God. Are you fucking joking me? What are they doing? Capture him maybe? What? How does he get away? What the fuck? Those two have to be paid off. Okay, so while I was watching this, I was stunlocked by what I was watching that I did not notice that they in fact did capture him. Thank fuck for that. But I still feel this was entirely avoidable. Let's move on, cause you know, Imric ain't dying to that shit, right? Yeah, he's alright, but look at this town. It's so cozy and nice. The world really is beautifully made. We do summer questing, which is just running around doing something. I totally forgot what I was doing here. These parts of the quest that are just running around, talking to NPC, immediately gets deleted from my memory. The next most important thing that kind of happens is when our goat Imric makes a recovery, only to be basically told that the church has kidnapped a bunch of people and is throwing a fit like a bunch of kids. Honestly, what are the point of churches anymore? Obviously, we can't let that slide, so Imric and I slime out the ops before pulling up on the crazy guy holding out this girl by her neck. I wish that were me. I mean, we pull up to save her. Imric tries to be peaceful about things, but it doesn't work out and he drops the girl. Let's just skip to the part where the dragon saves them and leaves a good impression on the people. In the midst of this, we're given my favorite character shield, which I will cherish dearly. A cutscene of, wait, what's that Scion's name again? You know the one. Also, Alfie's sister is stalking them, so she knows. Which makes a lot of sense later because of the way she acts towards the guy. Some more downtime of just talking to NPCs, but soon we return to Grandma to figure out what to do next. We have to get something from somewhere. I know I'm really good at storytelling, but I actually run into something that hasn't happened in a long time. Like what I talked about before, my item level was too low. Luckily, thanks to the help of the novice system, there were some really nice people that showed me around to where I can get the next gear set, which was really cool. I can't believe the game didn't take me here at all during the main story quest. It was pretty, and I needed to run some daily dungeons for more of the drops anyway, so I did that for a bit. And after a while, I came back to the MSQ, and now we can do it. This dungeon was, again, really cool. All the mini-bosses were absolutely insane looking, like what is this? And the final boss had some really interesting mechanics too, which still were all kind of basic, but it was doing some crazy things visually. We do finally manage to get in touch with Minfilia, I think, because wow, is she different. We go for a bit of a, I guess, fly as she tells us what she knows. Another really pretty cutscene, and after that, we relay to the party what we know. And after all that, we head back to Ishgard, where Imric wants to speak to us one-on-one, which is an offer I can't refuse. And he basically asks us to do a Q Valiant with him. And so, I get ready to do that. We do some more normal questing like standing around and then beating the shit out of everything and anything that moves. And then we have some crazy shit go down. First of all, we're treated to some nice coffee that's actually a drug. These guys actually drugged us. Honestly, well played. Then we get introduced to a group of people who hate the dragons and would rather die than be at peace with them. I mean, I understand it. Their friends and family died fighting the dragons. So how can it be fair to ask them to put that anger down and be nice with the enemy? But they forgot the dragons have suffered too. You know what? You guys are smart. You know the message the game is trying to convey. They hold a rally which kind of goes sideways as people remember why they hated dragons, and this fuck-ass dude shoots her, which only stirs up more trouble, cause now it seems like the nobles are silencing the commoners. The commander takes it pretty hard and blames himself, which, yeah dude, it's your fault, I'm sorry. He also crashes out, probably the craziest crash out in Final Fantasy to date, to the point where we want to beat his ass. But Thancred stops us, only to beat his ass himself. You know what? Valid. But it's that time where Imric asks us to queue up with him. And you know what? He's glazing us hella hard, so I can't let him down. We say yes and run it. This entire sequence is actually super cool. I loved it. A little showdown between nations in good faith. We pull up and all I can see is that one SpongeBob image. But we don't look that bad, right? On top of that, we get to fight my goat Raban. Like, this shit is so cool. A fight between two allies is the best. I wish more stuff did this. My goat clears the stage for us, and I lock in as we begin to dance. The fight was fine. I love 1v1, so I'm probably being really biased, but fuck it. We carried our team like a normal game of Valorant, and man, the writing is just so good. Okay, you guys got me. We join hands with the Eorzea Alliance before trying to broker a peace with the dragons. It's going well, an invigorating speech from Imric, and the unveiling of a new symbol of peace. The dragon is happy, the people are happy, then fucking Estinine pulls up and straight up murks the dragon like it's nobody's business, turns into Nidhogg and just fucks off. Damn. But we aren't gonna take that lying down. But first, a round of drinks on our boy Alfie. Hell yeah. We also promised to save Estinine instead of kill him. You know, minor story details. As we prepare for another fight with Nidhogg, Imric asks us if we're willing to make a trek back to the dragon's resting place, to ask Nidhogg's brother for assistance. So we pull up, and man does this place look as good as we left it. And so we ask him, and he immediately rejects us. But like star-crossed lovers, all of us try to convince him. Imric, Alfie, we're mostly nonverbal, so we use our little dragon, and then something finally clicks to stir the fire that's been barely lit. But we must complete a trial. So we pull up on that bitch and run that shit through with our guns out. Drive by in the middle of the night and no one saw it coming. But the dungeon was beautiful. Man, Final Fantasy XIV hits with its environments. They always look so good. Sure, most of it isn't interactable, but it's nice on the eyes while you kill a bunch of dragons. Wait, why are we doing that? I thought we were supposed to be friends. Anyway, we earn the respect of the big one, thank God. And we look at each other with a grin on our face. It's all coming together. The war seems to have started, so we get on some dragons and ride back. Now, the next 10 minutes of cinematics are peak cinema. When did this shit come out? 10 years ago? This holds up really well. The fighting, the way the camera pans as we arrive, and just this. Holy fucking horror. The brothers face off and it reminds me of Final Fantasy XVI with the icons fighting each other, which is really cool. But in the end, Nidhogg comes out on top. Not before his brother trusts us with his power. The power to end the war, so now it's finally our turn. And I messed up and accidentally ran in the previous dungeon again. Fuck's sakes. But finally we get into the last battle. It was alright. It wasn't the greatest boss fight I've run into even in Final Fantasy XIV. None of the mechanics were memorable, but the music. Man, the music was hitting. In the end, we defeat the dragon and watch Estinine come back to us, somehow. Oh, we get to see him just chilling here too. You're right there, buddy? It's okay, we're gonna help you out soon, alright? Hold on. Nidhogg isn't done just yet, but before he can do any more damage, Estinine holds on, with whatever strength left in his tattered body. He begs us to finish him, so that we may forever slay Nidhogg. But we won't accept that ending. Together with Elfie, we try to pry out the eyes from Estinine, but the pain, it just might be too much for us. No fucking shot. You can't be serious. Wait, does that mean you did not just do that? You can't just bring back my goat and... You know what? Well played. What a good ending. We managed to remove the eyes and the clouds part. What? What do you mean throw them into the abyss? Have you not seen Jumanji? You can't throw away godlike powers just anywhere. I guarantee you someone finds these. On my life. No, on my soul. Actually, on all my viewers' souls. They come back. Well, with that, we get our congratulations, and Estinine is bound to make a full recovery. And I think this is as good a place as any to give you guys my final thoughts. First off, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. For some closing thoughts, do I think the game is unwelcoming to new players? Kind of. I really appreciate there's a free trial, but the new player experience is really important. If someone whips you for 50 hours straight and then... Okay, that might not be a great example, but if you're subject to something you don't like for the first, even 10 hours, you're not likely to stick through it. Final Fantasy XIV is like a diamond surrounded by a metric ton of dirt. It's hard to expect a player, especially in 2025, with the attention span that we have to kind of get through all that. It's the same reason first impressions are so important. But man, once you find that diamond, is it so good. The story is probably the best in any MMO I've ever played. Mostly because MMOs focus on combat more than anything else. But from what I've played, the combat in Final Fantasy XIV is really good too. I have nothing really bad to say about the combat system other than maybe it looks a little dated graphically, but yeah, I love how every piece of gear is unique looking, and I understand why fashion gaming is so big in Final Fantasy XIV. And I think with that, I've said everything worth saying. Again, I want to meet more people, so please feel free to jump in. If you subscribe, I think you're really cute, and until next time, I hope to see you there.